Hello and welcome to my COG on Idea to Creation Crash Course with a look at the creative hero's journey ahead. So let's start off by covering who is this video for. So it's for you. It doesn't matter what your creative form is or what your goal is. It could be writing, coding, art, media, health and fitness, products, new business. It doesn't matter. There's a journey between now, today, and the day you bring your idea to real life. This journey is an adventure of sorts, full of challenges, perils, and inflection points. So, shall we begin? It all starts with ideas. So, it could be writing a book, creating a podcast, developing a game, designing a new application or technology. The list is endless. Many of us have amazing ideas that energize us for, unfortunately, a short time and inevitably go unlived and unrealized, only to show up as a new idea later, and this cycle just repeats endlessly. This whole video is about what it takes to truly bring an idea to life, but it all has to start somewhere, ideally on the right footing. Don't think that you're going to remember ideas later. Make sure you do by noticing them and capturing the good ones in reliable storage. Ideas left uncaptured will leave as quickly as they came. Now, how should you do that? So, do what works for you. Whether it's written, physically, digitally, typed, voice recorded, vlogged, you get the point. Just capture the great ideas. Next important thing, those who think they have a seriously great idea, make the time to engage with that idea and right away, if possible. Take this metaphor, say ideas are like visitors knocking on your door. You answer, give them an amount of time depending on what they look like, what they have to say. You're gonna have annoying ideas. This is like a kid asking you to get the ball out of your backyard. Acknowledge and dismiss these swiftly. You're gonna have boring ideas. Think of someone selling you something. These might be practically important. Maybe you should get that window repaired. Handle these as swiftly as possible, saving your energy and willpower for those great creative ideas. So then you have those ideas we've all been waiting for, and think of this like an idol of yours shows up at your front door and just wants to chat. How great would that be? Just answer the door. Capture those great ideas. And you might be thinking through, well, I don't have time. That's like you sitting on your sofa watching daytime television while your life idol came and went, and they're never going to show up the same way again. Don't be this guy or gal. So what if you're not feeling any ideas lately? I call this an idea desert. So what's the cure? Well, you need to change up your routine. Ideas never really stop showing up. You're likely just too stressed or busy to notice them. Something about your current life routine is impeding your awareness of that creative thought. Also, keep in mind, the world doesn't think it needs your ideas. It thinks it's spinning just fine. You alone, through great effort, must drive ideas forward, with unpredictable assistance, mind you, and navigate this transformative journey ahead to bring your idea to life and prove that world wrong. So what can happen if you spend enough time avoiding or resisting those creative thoughts, ideas? Well, you become creatively hardened, effectively hindering full mind, body, soul engagement in life. You might feel as though joy or play have abandoned you, or like life is just some logical sequence of steps to be carried out. Hopefully you're not this cynical, hyper-rational person, but chances are you know someone who could fit that bill. Depending on the circumstance, you or the person you're thinking of might actually have sealed over some true inner yearnings for one reason or another. Ask yourself who you truly are when you strip away anything having to do with like wealth, power, fame, or pleasure. Ponder this enough, you might just break out of that hard shell you've been hiding in, and creative ideas can flourish again. Now, another dysfunction, I call this idea overload. What's the cure? Well, pull yourself back to earth. You've drifted a little too far. So just like resisting or avoiding creative thought can harden that mind-body-soul connection, allowing too much creative thought without any action can equally and will equally paralyze it. So dreamers who only dream will never get anything done. There's a balance to be struck. Depending on what stage you are in your creative journey, different levels of action versus ideation or reflection are required. Remember, the goal is to bring your great idea to life and share it with the world. This requires consistent action. So recap, your idol appeared at your front door for a visit. Are you going to leave them hanging while you take a shower or scroll the socials? Your answer is no. You must spend time with those great ones right away. And something actually mysterious happens when you spend time with those ideas that captivated you when they first came about. They like the attention. They reveal their mysteries and their secrets with you. They beg for you to carry them and run with them, and they provide motivating thoughts and emotions. So what does that spending time look like? It could look like brainstorming, getting everything out of your head and into reliable storage. If you leave great ideas too long, they will close up their mystery goodie box with a big F you, and Even if you spend time with them later, they may appear lifeless and dull. So how do we differentiate between so many ideas, let's say? Examine the source of your idea. Is it actually coming from you, or is it coming from maybe, what you think someone wants? Here's an example quiz to help weed out those truly bad ideas. So question number 1, how do you actually feel about it? And don't lie, because time will tell all truths. So you might be thinking, well, I'm tinkering, I'm feeling interested, hopeful even. You might even feel passionate. Actually, none of these will do. The only good answer is that you are all in, meaning you're willing to sacrifice comforts over years, if that's what it takes, through dirt, blood, sweat, to make this thing a reality. Why do you want it? Is it for attention? Is it for money, fame, because you think you deserve it, for power, to prove others wrong, to right a wrong? All of these won't cut it. The good answers are for the fun, the thrill, the joy, or just the sheer beauty, or because you have no choice, meaning this idea is so special you couldn't live with yourself healthily without getting it out into the world. Pro tip, so look for patterns in your ideas. These patterns can actually be a hint and a mysterious glimpse, if you will, into your creative destiny. The ideas will feel like they maybe consistently emerge from a strange place in the back of your mind. They're actually coming from a higher version of you, the angel on your shoulder, if you will, your self. We'll get to the devil on the other shoulder in a bit. So these patterns reveal themselves more fully over a lifetime with each completed or shared creation. Okay, so you got a great idea. What is next? Well, transform your brainstorm into a one-page standard notepad size outline. This outline will ideally be organized with a beginning, a middle, and an end. Another pro tip, if you're finding that difficult, actually start with the end. Make sure you have a clear answer to what is this whole thing about, i.e. like what is the grand theme or grand vision, and then work your way backwards from there. Okay, I've got my one-page outline, what now? Fill in the details to form a rough series of about 7 or 8 major movements, milestones, sequences of this thing. If you need a plan, a lot of us do, this means expanding your outline to a design document, if you will, that's roughly about 10 times the amount of detail. This thing needs to have all the required beats that'll make your idea sing. They have to be captured, right? So if you're thinking of like a game, maybe it's a game design document. If it's a business idea, maybe a business proposal / plan, or a philanthropic movement, you get the idea. If you need to do research, do it sparingly, right? Focus on action at this early stage, not overthinking. If you move too slow, doubt and fear will catch up and devour your motivation for good. Notice how things are getting progressively harder as your journey moves along here. You haven't seen anything yet, right? Exile the word easy from your mind, because nothing worth doing is easy. In fact, this is probably going to be the hardest thing you've ever done yet. You will now begin working like hell to bring your idea to life. Do this like your life depends on it. It does. The goal here is to get your complete idea out as quickly as possible without stopping for quality or to let doubt and fear catch up and hinder you more than it already has. If you're writing, it's the first draft. If you're developing an app or a game, it's like the vertical slice prototype. If you're making a movie play, it's the pilot scene episode. You get the idea. It's the first full pass, right? The first pass at the full idea, rather. Enter Cogman. So, well, who are your allies, if you will, during this first pass? Not really anyone. There's some attributes, if you will, that you could rely on in this phase. So here is Cogman, right? He embodies primitiveness, instinct, stubbornness, passion, determination in the best way since the dawn of man, right? Stay primitive. Do not think, just do. So you're finished, right? Your first draft / prototype / pilot has a clear feel of what this whole thing is about. Well, congratulations, you've just arrived at the pit of despair. The dark moment, the belly of the beast. These are all terms for what this stage will feel and look like. If you anticipate this, you might just have a greater chance of pushing through it. And, well, this is when everything begins to fall apart. Major setbacks or challenges appear, and they will test your resolve to its core. Fear stands between you and your unlived, unmanifested dream or idea. All is lost is a major feeling or theme at this stage, and becomes a reality if you give in and let fear win. Don't plan for this. Just determine yourself to push through it when it comes. When you stand your ground, look fear in its cold, dead eyes and refuse to step down, channeling your inner cogman or cogwoman. The powers that be take pity, and you're allowed to rise and continue on your journey. You may even be blessed with some tangible or intangible reward for your demonstrated grit, perseverance, and that may aid you in your remaining journey. So now we've climbed out of that pit of despair, we're approaching the end. You must push on to the finish line, and beware. Fear and doubt, with their dirtiest tricks yet, will rear their ugly head once more towards the end, when you're nearest that point of returning with your completed creation or your gift for the world. So it may use fear in the form of maybe you feeling exposed, or actually, actually releasing your creation to the world and being subject to its evaluation, its criticism, or even the idea that your creation could fail. Whatever you do, you must finish. You must ship, release, / deploy this final product or idea. Do not hold back. Failure and success. So only those who actually complete something beginning to end can fully understand this truth. Failure is an illusion. The only real failure is giving up or not finishing something. Whether your idea produces that grand vision you intended or not, transformation has occurred, and you'll have risen to a higher level of, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Those who have never finished anything worry about success or failure. So recap the big movements here. So you started with your one pager, you moved to your design document, your vertical slice, you've actually completed your version 1.0, and then you have released or published. So there are actually, think of at the beginning, there are some blockages in the way of these cogs spinning all together, right? So the first between your one pager and your design document is just believing in and trusting yourself, right? And then between your design document and your vertical slice, you have to commit to the journey. Am I ready to bleed for this? It has to be yes, right? And then between that vertical slice, that prototype, and the actual version, first release, you have to overcome your greatest fears. You have to push through. You have to never surrender. And then right there at the end, you've got this thing done, and you are sitting on the edge of your seat. Am I really going to put this thing out into the world? The answer has to be yes. You have to overcome fear itself and share your creation boldly. So focus on finishing. In the beginning, this is all you need to graduate from the training camp in your creative life. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this is useful to you. Thanks for listening. And now it's time to show up for you and your amazing ideas.